Hey, this is Politics with Laura. How are you? I'm politically incorrect, and so are you, because you're hanging with me. So if I'm politically incorrect or you're politically incorrect, guess what? We are politically incorrect. And there's nothing wrong with going against the grain because sometimes going with the herd, you may not be going in a direction that you may want to go in. So sometimes you gotta walk it back. Walk it back. And that's okay to walk it back. However, this video, I'm going to go back to the Ukraine and Russian war. Now, last month sometime, I made a video of the Ukraine getting drones that was backed by the United States by Nikki, oh, what's her name? The Undersecretary of the United States, the diplomat to the Ukraine. She is in a whole lot of trouble. Well, no, let me take that back. Let me reverse that. Not in a whole lot of trouble, but she was questioned by Congress, and she basically told the truth, which she did. The United States was in Ukraine before all of this occurred, having black sites, which is true. That is not a conspiracy. It's none of that. It is true. Sadly to say. Now, Nikki, she spent $30 million, and you can go back in my previous videos to where it gives the exact number. But she spent $30 million on a secret lab in the Ukraine. Now, they were doing business with Turkey, with a Turkish company, and they wanted drones specially to be able to fit sprays and also to be able to fit little bombs to drop grenades. And look, the U.S. is in it up to its eyeballs. I personally think, and this is just my personal thought, that the U.S. wants to overthrow Putin so they can put in whatever puppet they want to benefit the United States. Now, the United States does that all the time. Let's name the countries. Look at Nicaragua, El Salvador. Look at Panama. Oh my goodness, the Middle East, you have all these puppet people. Look at the United Arab Emirates. You know, they have a lot of American puppets that do the United States will. As long as we protect you, we put people in your country in offices that we deem fit that have our interest. That's just what it is. But I found this article that I found quite interesting. And I was really surprised to find it in the Independent, right? And it was on Yahoo News. So wonderful. This is interesting. The moment Russian soldier gives middle finger to a Ukraine drone before it blows up the tank. I'm sort of getting the thought of Bruce Willis giving the middle finger, saying "Yippee ki yay, mofo." Oh my goodness! Just the thought that went through my head. So let's take a look at this because the article is very, very interesting. All right, this is by Tom Ambrose. The moment a Russian soldier gives the finger to a Ukrainian drone just before it drops a grenade on a tank next to him has captured on camera the tank, a Russian BTR B2A APC, was being hit or was hidden alongside of a building and but was left before a blazing wreck by the attack of the Ukrainian forces continued to defend the countryside. Now, yeah, you are supposed to defend your country, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. Now, now how this war began, that's a different story. They're in a war, so it really doesn't matter how it got started. Who did what to whom doesn't matter. That's what matters is what's going on right now. Let me see. Okay. All right. Okay, the tank. Okay. In the footage released by Ukrainian military and posted on Twitter, 6 Russian troops are sighted converged around a vehicle, and one of them sticks up his middle finger in the direction of the drone. Now, that's a Turkish drone, and I don't remember the company that made the drones because the drones were given specific um, measurements. They wanted the drone a little bigger to do specific things, as I stated earlier. So these drones are specially made for the Ukraine, paid by the United States, which our tax dollars is going to. And I think we need to reevaluate some things. I think the U.S. should stay out of it and let NATO, Europe deal with it. Just my opinion. Please don't give me any hate emails. One thing that we can have is an opinion. All right, now I was gonna go into this, but this guy is a bit twisted. Oof. I'll let that one go. I was taken aback by that. The drone then attacks the tank with a grenade, causing it to burst into flames. It comes as as Ukraine says Russia losses could now total as many as 30,000 troops and 1,330 tanks. Now, I don't know. I don't know because we we are looking at two sides that are basically saying quién es más macho, you know, who's more macho, you know, and that's what that is. All this flexing, all this testosterone. Okay, I'm being silly. The fighting. The fighting has intensified in Ukraine's Luhansk, sorry for mispronouncing that region, as Russian forces try to capture the largest city still under Ukrainian control in the territory, officials say on Sunday. So it's getting worse. It's getting so much worse. And I don't know if it's going to get any better. I don't know when it's going to end. I have no understanding. And I really wish, I only wish that Biden would have done one thing. And that is, he should have let them did all the negotiating. Let them, because it's between Russia and the Ukraine. Biden had no business going into Russia telling the U.S. companies anything. And they had no business Biden had no business doing that. And even though that intelligence said the opposite, that people were not going to, American people were not going to get kidnapped. None at all. Now the people, the one lady, the NBA basketball player who went to a Russian jail, well, she broke the law because they don't allow drugs. And this is something that Americans need to understand. This country may be, I'm sorry, this country may be liberal to the point of, okay, let's imagine this. Imagine the average American on a horse, galloping through the meadow, saying, "Free love, no more, no war, smoke weed." That's who we are. Other countries, they're like, no, war, reproduce, and keep those drugs out of here. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, let me continue on. The Kremlin forces have their sights on the, oh my goodness, Severodonetsk, which is located around 90 miles from the Russian border on the strategically important Servinsky Donbass River. That's interesting. That even puts more understanding of why Putin did what he did. Now, the Ukraine wanted to be a part of NATO, and NATO already surrounds the Russia. And again, they violated the Warsaw Pact to where these countries were supposed to be neutral because this Russia did not want capitalism at its door, free market capitalism, and I understand that. Now, just remember, back in the 60s, when Russia was trying to bring missiles into Cuba, the United States not only sent all ships around Cuba, getting ready to light Cuba up, and was getting ready to drop a bomb on them. But then again, so we do that, but when it comes to Russia saying, hey, this right here is my space, and we agreed on it, we signed an agreement, a treaty. Remember that treaty, the Warsaw Pact with NATO? And you, U.S., we were also there too. Remember that back in 1949? Yeah. That's why I did what I did. Putin is, I'm just thinking. But we got to keep that in mind, 90 miles away. Cuba's 90 miles away from the United States. This area is not far from the capital, Moscow. You could put a bomb over there and blow everything up. That would be a wrap. So I get it. I get Putin's concern. Any sovereign leader would understand his concern. And I'm thinking maybe the average Ukrainian must be thinking, we got screwed. We gave up our nuclear weapons. We said, okay, for this treaty, nuclear weapons, we're going to give it up. Now, it's at the point, and I know I'm diverting a little bit. Now, Sweden and Finland's like, wait, oh my goodness, wait a minute. If this is happening to the Ukraine, we're next. No, you were not next. You didn't try to sign up with the NATO. Let me finish out this article. Okay, 90 miles. Okay, some 90% of the buildings are damaged. More than 2/3 of the city's housing stocks has been completely destroyed. There are no telecommunication. There is constant shelling. The Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky said, capturing, I cannot pronounce this. Capturing Severodonetsk, I'll just call it Donsky, is a fundamental task for the occupiers. We will do all we can do to hold this advance, he added. The fighters in this city have grown fierce, according to the region's governor. Oh man, Serhoy Gade, who also described the Russian assault as extremely escalated. Mr. Gade said, it is impossible to calculate the number of casualties as the shelling was so persistent, adding that the Russian forces have dug themselves into a hotel in the northern edge of the city. Wow. It is getting, really, really, wow. This is horrible. Okay, they cannot advance further into the city are taking are taking casualties, but we are not able right now to push them out of the hotel. He added, "Yeah, it's getting it's getting. I don't. Okay, me saying it's getting worse. No, it was worse to begin with. War is ugly and it's horrible, and people die. People get injured. They lose limbs. It's just it's awful. How can I say this? It's awful when neighbors simply cannot get along. It is terrible. Oh my goodness. And it's like, what do you do? Two opposing forces. But I don't want to go back to the Warsaw Pact, because that right there, we're so far they're so far into the war. I don't think either side can back out without looking like a chicken. You have Zelensky that's there on the ground with the troops, drumming up help, money, whatever he can get. President Putin is doing the same thing, drumming up help, whatever he can get, and saying, "Hey, this is why I'm doing this, and look what the NATO is doing," and everybody is taking sides. Now, what is putting me on edge, because this is horrible, but it's just horrible. So now you have, China getting ready to go into Taiwan. Now they were protesting, and just keep this in mind, they were protesting, and they were getting a lot of coverage, and all of a sudden the COVID hit, and you got nothing, nothing at all. But now, Biden is saying, "Hey, China, if you go into Taiwan, we're going to check you." Um, I think, Biden, you might want to rethink that. Keep in mind, we have troops all over the world, and you're talking smack to China, and we owe China money. You might want to evaluate that, just in my opinion. But however, on that note, Russian Ukraine war, I mean, I hope it ends quickly. I hope, Zelensky and Putin can come to the table, and whatever agreement they have, I hope they can come to that agreement and stop this, because people are dying on both sides. And it's like Russians are killing Russians. You can sit there and say Ukraine, fine, they are Ukrainians, but however, you do have Russians there too. And okay, they are ethnically different. That is very, very, very true. I'm not taking anything away from anyone. However, on that note, I want to thank you. If you like my content, please like, subscribe. If you think I'm totally wrong about this, say, "Hey, Politics with Laura, you're totally wrong with this." And let's go ahead and hash it out. On that note, I want to thank you for stopping by.